it away? Hopefully not.
That's how I act. I'm serious. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, we're still leaving the middle chair. Nobody believes in the middle chair. Technically, you're the middle. There's a gavel. You want to slam that. Hello. Thank you. Appreciate it. Whenever he gets about a month old and mom lets him come up to Hey, this thing on. Oh, it's on. We're on. Yeah, let me do it.
I usually print this because this is the first one I keep.
Man, I forget to wear it every time I go back out. No, it's already past 6:30. I ended up getting my little DDA name tag.
I think I actually have mine. I've never worn it.
I think that's your head.
Mine's in the car.
No, you were, I just didn't, I didn't
Oh,
know that the
yeah.
other day.
Well, I tried to make this happen.
Let's see here. Maybe? Ho ho! Still in the
Alright.
plastic bag. I've never worn it. I'll put it on the other side. I've never worn it. Who made these?
I don't know. They're pretty cool.
Oh, that's terrible. We'll fix that. I came straight from practice, so I did not even have time to go
What kind of practice?
volleyball practice for LCA.
My
There we go.
my oldest
Merry
son at Mercer, he's found him a new girlfriend at Mercer.
Uh-oh.
She's on the volleyball team.
There you go.
6'1". Good looking and just tall.
Tall, tall, very tall.
Yeah.
But he's also
Okay,
what? He's
you guys
6'5".
ready to start?
6'3".
Okay, I knew he was taller, but I didn't know. You ready?
Now we're ready. Ready, set, go?
All right, so,
Get our new member up here.
I don't know. Can you guys hear us?
Test.
Or turn it on.
All right, we're ready to start this meeting. Hi, this is the call to order at 6:33,
6:33.
and we need to do roll call. We just-
Jay Quality?
Terry is not here, he's on vacation today. So everybody's here, and our new person in the audience, Joanne Byrne. Byrne.
Burn, baby.
I'm trying to pretend we've never met. She's here, so we need to get her sworn in. You want to do that now?
Oh, her stuff's already up here. Her stuff's right there.
It's hot. Okay.
Face for you, council.
Will this work okay?
Face for you.
Okay. I, Joanne Byrne,
I, Joanne Byrne,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will in all respects
that I will in all respects
observe the provisions of the Constitution of the United States of America,
observe the provisions in the Constitution of the United States of America,
the state of Georgia,
state of Georgia,
the charter and ordinances of the city of Loganville,
charter and ordinances of the city of
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
as a director of the Downtown
as a director of the Downtown
Development Authority of the City of Loganville.
Development Authority of the City of Loganville.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Sworn this 22nd day of September 2025. Okay, yeah, say it again.
Sworn this 22nd day, September 2025.
Okay, you got the year right. You did, you did, you did. Okay, sign right here.
That's fancy. Look at that. Look at that quality.
How you doing, man?
That's fire.
We would like to introduce the newest member of the Downtown Development Authority, Joanne Byrne. Take a seat, please. And, And if David King would stand up at the podium, he was sworn in at the last council meeting. So good to have both of you with us. Sure.
She always makes something happen.
Thank you.
Very good. Welcome.
I like the military logbook though. No, you can't.
All right, that's actually your seat right over there. You're gonna need that book in it tonight. Does everybody have a copy of the agenda? You guys need an agenda?
Yes.
Anybody
We
need
got
a
it.
copy? You need a
Oh, are they
copy?
saying you need a copy? We're good.
Joanne?
I think we lost mine, so.
Okay. All right, are there any things that we need to add to the agenda before we adopt it? Anything you guys see you wanna?
Mike?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
A second.
All right,
Who seconded?
Jamie.
Jamie. Next, we need to approve the last meeting's minute.
You got to
Oh, we have
vote.
to vote?
Yeah, aye.
We have to vote on that. So all in favor of adopting this agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Great. Motion carries 5.
Motion carries what?
I'm never gonna be able to do this without you, Danny, so
5-0, 5-0.
if you're not here, we don't
Make
meet.
it on the record that all 5 voted. If you don't say it, then technically you're all supposed to vote.
Isn't there
We'll
6
make
of
you
them?
a flashcard.
Well, Terry's not here. I don't look terrible.
Parsons not here.
There's 7
6.
too.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 now.
Yeah, thank you. That's what.
I know if Terry counted or not.
City council.
I guess she might be-
You're being real sharp today, aren't you? That's good.
All right, next, we need to approve the last meeting's minutes. Everyone looked
I
at
sent out the
them?
minutes earlier today to everybody's email. I sent them out right after the meeting last time, so everybody should have had a chance to look at them. And I just want to make sure I get everybody's email correct before we leave today.
Anyone have anything we left off the minutes for last month?
I did not see anything, so I would motion to approve last month's minutes.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second, so we need to vote
Yep.
to approve these minutes from last August 25th. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-1.
6-0.
6-0.
6-0.
Who was
Terry's back. The ghost of Terry is back.
We'll get there.
Opposed to the.
All right, and next is the treasurer's report from our treasurer, Jamie Toller, our new treasurer.
Give it up for Jamie.
Yay,
Loganville's hero.
Jamie.
Okay, well, from what I can see, we did not spend ourselves broke or save ourselves rich. It's exactly the same as it was last month, so we are exactly the same.
So while we're on this, though, we need to talk about Jamie being the treasurer, because he said that he doesn't mind, but if David or Joanne would rather do it, he's good with that. We got a no from Joanne?
Not at this time,
if you wouldn't mind, Jamie. I'm telling you, you don't
Well,
want me
since I'm
balancing this
the, not the
checkbook.
first or the second, I'm the third, I'll take it.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to figure
I'm
the
just-
whole thing out first.
Yeah.
Want something?
I'm glad you're the accountant now. I'm proud of you. All right.
You did.
So do we have a
Good job.
motion to approve this treasurer's report that did not change?
We usually don't approve that.
Stain copy.
I
Oh.
mean, just kidding. We don't have to approve that. It's already approved by Jamie. All right, so next
I
we
guess
are
we gotta
going-
make the vote to make me the treasurer, or
You
no?
already
We did that last
We did
time.
that.
Oh, y'all did that okay.
Yeah.
We just
Here
not
we are.
changing.
Oh, not the interim, but the, okay.
Yeah,
Good deal.
we said we would change it if we wanted to. but
Okay.
We do not. All right, so number 6, old business. We are gonna move a little bit quickly tonight because we have a lot of stuff to go over, because I took my training. So I have a lot of stuff to talk about. So did Terry, and he has a whole bunch of stuff he wants us to talk about. So let's start with the website. Were you able to pass that paperwork on to Kyle, Mr. Danny?
Yes.
What did he have to say
He
about
should
that?
be reaching out to you with a bunch of things he can or cannot do with that.
Who, me?
Melanie, microphone.
There's no need to be rude.
Yes, Kyle can do one page, but he cannot create a whole entire website for you, but there can be one page added. So he's gonna get with you about some of the things that he has concerns over from that list.
Okay.
I was not here during the talk of the website. What exactly is the website? What is it for? What is it going to look like? Who's building it?
Well, it's
Those are the questions we've been
we've
asking.
been trying to work on it for about 6 years now.
Who's hosting the
And,
domain? Is it the city that hosts the domain, or is it us personally that are hosting the domain?
We host the domain. You mean like pay for it?
Correct.
Yeah, we're paying for the domain, but we were going to get the city, when we switched to DDA, the city volunteered their staff from LDA to, so we were gonna get the city to do it, but previous people did not get it to Kyle at the city. So he has just now at the last meeting gotten his paperwork to see if he can do it, and I'm thinking maybe it's too big of a website for the city to build on top of their website, which was always the concern, but other people thought it wasn't. So we kind of needed to discuss, do we just want the one page that the city's offering us, or do we want a full interactive website?
What is the one-page offer that we wouldn't have for the full?
I think a one page would probably just be basic information, who to get in contact with, what we do, mission.
You could also have a link to ours at that point. You can do the
Well, yeah,
basic
they'll
stuff
still,
and then a
yeah, they
link.
would still give us that page to link, I'm assuming, right, Danny?
Yeah, he's nodding his head.
Kyle's back there. I didn't work out. He was
Hi,
here. Kyle can talk about this.
I'm sorry, I've never met you, so I didn't know. Nice to meet you.
Get a microphone, Kyle.
Good thing I didn't say anything negative about you right to your face.
I would have said,
This Kyle, man.
I guess that's why Danny said you wanted to talk.
What,
to me, so I
what
just
do,
kept talking.
what, I guess the question we should ask is, what do we want the website to do for us? Because that's ultimately what's going to dictate, do we need a single page or do we need an actual website? What do we want from that? Do we want people to go there to just contact us with questions, fill out paperwork, or is this like just a news, like a broadcast, to tell people what we're working on, or, I mean, that's what I would want to know.
well, let's see what Kyle has, and then we could kind of,
What I have from y'all, the notes that I got, has a lot of information on it. All of it can fit into like a never-ending scrolling single page. The concern that I have is it's not, and Danny can correct me if I'm wrong, but we offered our services to create a page so people can get information in reference to y'all, but not cause a big issue with having to update it repeatedly all the time. Because we leave the updating to our department, so all the department heads notify the IT department on what to put on the page. So if you guys are updating a lot of stuff, if there's a lot of form information, I think there were like 5 or 6 forms for people to fill out, that's gonna have to be managed kind of by someone else too. So as long as it doesn't create extra work, it's not a big deal to have your mission statement, what you do, any other information like that, your, you know, who's on the board, who's on the DDA, any contact information for those people. It's fine to put all that on there, but you just don't want it to be like a revolving, never-ending information updating thing, because then it's going to get put in our queue of things to do, and it's not going to get updated very often. So that was my recommendation.
so is
was
it
to
built
keep-
in like into the city's website, or this is a separate?
Yeah, well, like you asked about hosting, right now you guys are hosting. It was, when LDA was kind of created, it was taken away from the city, the site, and it was totally put into some hosting somewhere else. So the domains were hosted somewhere else and the sites were hosted somewhere else. So now the idea was kind of to put a page on our website so that y'all wouldn't have to manage it, which is fine. That's what I said. We can put a page on there. And then we would host that one page. If you want to do an external page, we can do a basic page on our website. And then for more information, you can create something else with Wix or somewhere else if you wanted to do that. But if you have the, I have a page up right now that has basic information about the DDA. I just started working on it last week, and it's easy to put that on there. It's just the multiple forms and the multiple updates. Like if members change, then we got to swap out names on the site every time a member changes or contact information. So just have to make sure that whatever you decide to do, that we have the plan figured out. That's all.
So my opinion is we need a full website because we want, or if we stick with a vision we've been going towards, we'll talk about that later. We'll want people to be able to go on and put volunteer. We want them to reach out to us. We want to have different pages they can go to for resources like loans, grant programs, different things like that. So I think we should probably let the city link an outside website and us figure out building our own website.
Who
Kyle, I don't know
amongst
why
us
it
can
took
do
you
that?
6 months to tell us that.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Well,
just kidding.
once I saw what you, I didn't know, we didn't, you know what, we initially met with a couple of the members and talked about the whole thing, a meeting months ago. And the discussion we had was kind of, we left the meeting with action points, but the city didn't have any action points. And I never got any any notes or anything back from anyone on what needed to be done or what was going to be built. So the first paperwork that we got, and Danny and I have talked about it a few times over the past few months, and it was just kind of a waiting game. The first thing that we got from the DDA at all was what you gave us last.
And I don't think anybody's like thinking that it was you, that you were the problem.
No,
We know you were.
Trust
Yeah.
me, I watch all the meetings. I've seen all the videos, and every time I watch
Yeah,
them,
no,
I'm sitting there
nobody is
thinking-
like thinking this was you.
I'm like, it was not me. I was not doing it. I'm just waiting. So we, but that's literally how we do with our departments in the city too. I can't keep track of what every department in the city is doing and what needs to be changed on their page and all that. It's too much.
Yep.
So everyone's responsible for letting us know what to change. And then we change it exactly how you say to change it.
Yeah,
And then
so
you
it just
check it
makes
and then we
sense
change it
to
again.
do our own thing. If we're gonna go through him, we may as well just be, you know what I mean?
So we need to make a decision on whether we want to handle that ourselves or find someone outside to build the website.
I
Can
think we
we,
should probably look for a third party to do the website.
Is there anybody here that knows how to do it?
no, that was what I was gonna say, is we don't have anybody here that managed the old website. Can we go ahead and do the page on the city like he's talking about?
Yeah, I think
And
we do
then-
that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Have a
Yeah.
link and let us, in the next couple of months, try to come up, maybe we can convert the LDA that we already own the domain to. But that's gonna take some work. And I would say to get the information out there right away.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do what he's got.
Do the one page
And then when we
we'll
get it,
build
we can do a link then.
I agree.
Do we know what the average cost would be to build like a website if we did it ourselves, or, you know, I
I-
can do that research
It,
and
I do. It's between 6,000 and 10,000 possibly.
Yeah, we
It goes
just-
up from there.
done.
we just
If we
built-
did it ourselves?
If we did ourselves, no. If you hire a third party, that's what.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I'm saying,
I-
who here could do it?
I
or-
think the only thing we paid for before was the domain
Domain.
license, which was a couple $100.
It is,
Right,
yeah.
but I'm talking about building a website.
Oh, yes, if you
Multiple
hire an
pages
IT
from
person to
scratch.
do it,
It's gonna be
expensive.
anywhere
Yeah,
between
we're gonna
6,000
need
and
to-
up from there if you
Well, we're
hire a
not gonna
company
do
to do
that.
it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we're gonna need to find something.
But I don't know if anybody here knows how to do that. Does anybody here know code?
You know, I've got a couple of buddies that do it. You know, I can ask them
Yep.
and see what they think the cost would be and if they would cut a deal, and
Well, I built my
probably could even raise money for it.
That's what I'm saying. I think we need to look at like our own resources. Who do we all know? And
I mean, I built my website for the studio and it works well. Like we run our whole business off of that, but it took me a long time. But the guy I paid to build it before me, that didn't do a good job. I guess I'm about to explain why, but he only charged me like $1,500.
That's why it wasn't very good.
They have web page builders now that almost anybody can build a website. Your concern should be what you have now is someone else built it and that person left, and then you don't
Yes,
have a
correct.
way to
Whoever
update
does
what
it,
you
we-
have. So it's
like, if
this
you did
constant
it-
revolving thing
Right,
between
'cause if
person
she
to
builds it,
person.
She leaves, and then who's gonna manage it?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know if they still exist. There were a couple small website designers that were in the city that might be cheaper because they're small business, but I would search around a little for that.
Yeah, I'm looking at you thinking we just kind of skipped over that. Who might you know also?
So
But I
if we
mean-
build it in Wix, though, we could build a DDA Wix account that, like, let's say if we built it ourselves, we all have the password and I die tomorrow, then they still have the password to get in.
You
and
can,
fix
it still relies on the fact that somebody on the DDA is gonna know how to manage the Wix site and stuff. So you're right. You're correct. It's easy technically as long as there's someone that knows how to do it, but it's
I will
relying on
say,
that somebody
it-
would know how to do it, yeah.
I'll say this, if you don't have a dedicated website manager, it gets messed up, the website will, because even when you build a website on Wix, I have multiple websites that I have, that I work with for my business and a couple other sides things that I work on. I can tell you, it doesn't take much for a bug to pop up
Yeah.
and the website not to work properly. And if somebody's not keeping up with that, all of us have other jobs that we're probably doing. I'm running a company. So it's like, it could fall through the cracks, then the website's not working properly, people can't contact us or something. I think we should look into possibly, if it's a big deal and the website's important, I think we should have somebody who's outside of this group of people at least manage it. Maybe not build it, because it can be expensive. The only reason I know it's expensive is because my wife owns a marketing company who builds websites, and I see the prices that they send out, and it's not cheap. But I would recommend a third party to manage it, or at least build it, or at least manage it, not necessarily build it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll make a few calls, anybody else can too, and we'll have some information at the next meeting.
Because to pay for somebody to manage it, I mean, that's a monthly bill that we're gonna be looking at.
I just want to know, is it really that important to have a website?
Well, I was gonna say.
I think a splash page with the city would be just fine, with a contact form. And
It's
then
not.
we could
It-
focus on social media more than
Yeah,
anything
but we have
else.
to have the tools, especially when you take your training. You need a place for them to go to download loan applications, to read about them, to put all the information, what we, we need to simplify the information that applies to Loganville. Because what we're doing now is sending them out to all these different places. And I only know because I went through it with the LDA and it gets confusing and you just give up. And I didn't realize until I took my training this past month that I left a whole bunch of money on the table because I was just confused and walked away. And we don't want any other business people to do that. And a website and a cohesive way for people to see it would work.
All right, so if Jamie has a couple of buddies that he could call to see pricing. Kyle is saying that he maybe knows a few people around town that are,
I was just recommending y'all Google website developers in Loganville.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had said.
I don't know anybody here. I do it, so.
What-
I don't do it at part-time.
I'm probably
That's
gonna
not
be
what I'm
in
saying.
trouble
I do it here.
from Danny
I do
for
it.
saying this, but could the DDA hire you separately from the city to do it for us?
No, I don't do it anymore. I did for
Oh.
years, but I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Because of time, because it's a revolving, nonstop thing that constantly has to be done. And between a full-time job and doing that, and it's not worth the money, honestly.
All right, so we've got Jamie can make some calls. Brax, do you know anybody maybe?
No, again, it's more like he was saying, like, shoot, I barely can manage my own with the time I do. And like I said, he agrees. It's more the managing. And like my sister made mine, it's good, but I mean, it's nothing. You want to be professional, and I agree. Did you make the mock one time of it?
Yeah, and that took me 2 hours, so
It
that's
did,
what I said.
yeah,
I'm
but
not-
but that mock had multiple pages already.
Yeah.
Like, she made a mock-up one time, and it was good, but it just shows, like, there is a lot more. Because I was saying the same, I was like, why do we need it? And after she made the mock-up, I was like, oh, there's a lot
Yeah.
more to our job than just.
Do we,
I didn't know,
Danny,
that's
do
why I
you
asked.
maybe know who, like how Monroe manages theirs?
That'd be a good question.
The DDA site for Monroe, it looks totally different than their actual website. So I'm gonna say it's separate, somehow totally separate.
Yeah, because I made the mock-up copy.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy, is there someone who goes to Morning Meagle who does computer? Okay.
Yeah, the city,
would it
we
be-
hired a company because it got too much. We had to hire a company to redesign our website.
They built the entire site and then we do the management.
Yeah.
If
Can-
I,
Yeah, fire away.
Yeah, but once again, I'll reach out, and Terry, I'll probably call you next week just to get a few things to reiterate it to them. That way I'll have
How
more
about
of an idea
this?
to tell them what we want.
He does that. I'll take the responsibility of calling Monroe's DDA, talking to their board, and just seeing who they hired and who does theirs. So I'll ask those
And
questions to
cost.
Monroe and cost. He'll do his. So I'm gonna
I
write that
know
down.
some folks too, I'll reach out.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe
perfect.
what we could do is, we could maybe get some proposals together with pricing and listen to what they have to say, and we can all make a better decision on who to go with, you know.
Yeah, so you guys can bring that back to the next meeting information, and
Yep.
then we will figure out, because Terry, like I said, he took his training, and he was really of the opinion that without a website and social media presence, there's not much we can accomplish within the realm of a DDA, and I somewhat see his point there, so we do want to fast track that if we can, so we'll decide the next meeting. Next is supposed to be social media update, but I don't know how to reorder things. So we created the social media accounts, and everyone except for David and Joanne, of course, because they're new, are admins on it, and they're just sitting there, and we haven't done anything with them. And again, that was one thing Terry wanted to discuss tonight, is how we're gonna handle that, because we don't want the other pages in the city to be answering questions for us. Thank you, Kyle. I'm sorry, we just stopped talking to you.
Just left him to stand.
So rude. Poor Kyle.
Yeah, just a basic page that
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
says
and when we get our
how
link
awesome we
officially.
are, and then that's all we need. We'll take it from there. So anyways, we have these social medias. I can make you, Joanne and David, admins, but we kind of need to figure out what our plan, what we're gonna post. We don't have any plans. Like I said, Terry is of the opinion that it is, we need to handle that immediately. I agree, but I just can't think of anything we would post.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, it would just be, you know, when a meeting is gonna be, maybe,
Post a YouTube link to them.
you know, I don't know if it's appropriate to back up different city events that are coming up, you know, we've got,
Oh, absolutely. Well, Monroe.
we could just be a
and
source
their-
of like city information, but it's kind of redundant because we got the Loganville events page.
Well, there's no real redundancy in social media these days, because the more people
It's
see
all
you.
redundant.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is the more people see it, the better. So if we have it on like 10 different pages and we post 8
Yeah, I
times
mean,
a
we
day.
could maybe do, you know, like, what is the DDA? What do they do? Does it, you know, we could do some stuff.
Yeah, like meet the team Monday, meet Joanne.
And Tara,
Meet Joanne.
and get this beautiful gift basket. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we needing somebody, or is there nothing happening because we don't have a dedicated social media manager?
No, I think we originally talked about taking turns or shifts or something. Just the old DDA, which is, I guess, what we'll refer to it from now on, because we're the new DA, didn't really see a point in social media and thought it was just all drama and this and that, which obviously that is not completely untrue, but we do have to utilize it, and we do have to put ourselves out there.
Social media drama? I said I wouldn't know anything about social media drama.
Oh, me
Would I know anything?
The heck you don't, buddy.
Wouldn't know anything about that.
So, I don't know, maybe if we each took a turn of, I don't know, a month or,
Is there anybody who wants to just step up and run the social media accounts and post? They can post the meetings, we could post a link to the YouTube channel to watch the former live feed, or to watch the live feed when it pops up. Because if I think taking turns is just, let's just find somebody
Yeah.
who's interested in
I'll
it,
do it.
dedicated, and we'll keep
I'll
up
do
with
it. I've got, you know, flexibility with my job, so I can just add that to my reminders to do.
I'm willing to help out if you need
Okay.
it, just let me know.
All right, perfect.
And the thing is, we're all gonna be admins, so
Right.
if you see something that's not done, we can do it, but I really,
Okay.
we have no idea what we're gonna post now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just get it going and see what develops.
There's a lot of folks that use Facebook, and I think that would be a useful tool for them to find links to this meeting or just general information.
Right, and then if
For
there's
now,
an
that alone would be
opportunity
good.
and somebody sees it on Facebook, we could direct them to, you know, whatever, call or back to a website or,
And there, all we have is Facebook, I don't know. We would have to talk about the other social media.
Yeah, we'll start there.
All right, and next is a training update. In the last meeting, we said we would all get our training done by this meeting.
I never received a
End of
link.
October.
Not you, David.
Okay,
I'll
very well.
stand behind that one.
I don't
End of
remember being at
October.
this
End of
meeting.
October is what we talked about.
I'm on
Thank
it.
you. I was
We're
like, there was
working
no
on
way
it.
I'd have committed to
Are
that.
y'all telling me I had to cram
Yeah.
9 hours of training into one day?
Me and Jamie are both working on it right now, but
Yeah.
we texted Jerry, I said end of October, and said
Michael,
yes.
was it end of September
It
or
was end of
October?
September is what we said.
Yeah.
But, and for the 2 new
We
members,
thought it was
We're
October.
working on it.
Yeah.
I'm actually on it.
you're required, it's an 8-hour training session for all new DDA members. They have to get it done within their first year. We have found on the Georgia Main Street site a class that fulfills that. It's about 8 or 9 hours long, but you can break it up. You can take a couple-hour session and then come back to it later, as long as you finish it within 30 days.
So here's the thing.
And it costs $50, which.
Yeah, it's only $50, and it's on the GMA website. And Michael, you wouldn't have sent it to David yet, would you?
I'm sending it to them right now.
If he
Okay,
sent it-
thanks.
I sent it out after I got that email, but David's email kicked back to me today when I sent something, so.
And we need your phone number too, David, so we can put you on our group text. So anyways, about training. We do need to talk about training because training was not pushed in the old DDA, and I was one of the I never took my training either for this whole time. But when you take the training, you do really learn so much, and that's what Brandon kept telling me. Once you take the training, and your perspective really changes, Terry's perspective really changes. So you do have a year to take the training, but if you took it faster, it would answer a lot of your questions. However, I'm extremely resourceful, so I downloaded and stole the whole training packet. And I have it in a PDF form that I can send to you if you want to have it just to read. And then I printed a form, but it's like really small, just so we could reference it, because it does have, first of all, it has so many contacts and it has so many different people involved in GDA and GMA that host these modules, and they really are way smarter than us about this stuff, and you get new ideas and stuff like that. And they are, like the lawyer is I actually have already emailed them about like 3 different things. So, and they're very responsive, they're very helpful. So I think it is worth it to go ahead and get it done. Same for you, Braxton. Jamie, it is, like I said, 8 hours, so break it up, but I think that
Yeah.
is, I'm gonna be a little more pushy than my predecessor on that, and.
Mine will be done next week.
Mine will be done by the next meeting.
Yeah, and then once you guys are done, we can kind of go over what questions you guys have, but I literally kept having to pause it and write my notes down and ask questions, and I have a whole bunch of questions for Paul tonight, but he's not here. But one thing they said, Michael, that I did have a question about was that within 2 days after the meeting, we have to have a summary
Do what?
of the meeting, and that at the 48-hour mark, even if it's midnight, if a citizen asks us for a summary of our meeting, we have to immediately provide it.
Summary being like the minutes
It's not-
that
wasn't in
Michael?
the class
Not
I
the
took.
minutes, something different.
I'm sorry, that wasn't in the class that I took.
Yeah, I don't know, it says a number,
I think Terrence sent it to me again.
Is that the DDA 101 class?
yeah, I printed it.
Actually, I'll keep that. Okay.
A summary of the subjects acted on, those members present at a meeting must be prepared in writing and made available to the public for inspection within 2 business days of the adjournment of a meeting. That's what the slide says, but when they were talking about it, they were saying basically these meetings get contentious because they're doing like commercial real estate and executive sessions and blah, 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 and that there will be people who know legally they can get a summary at 48 hours, and they will call you on your cell phone at home and say, I need my summary of what happened.
Well, we do the minutes, and I usually do them like the next day. But that's the reason I think we post everything on the agenda and the agenda packet. So
Okay.
basically, that is a summary of what we discussed that night, the agenda and the agenda packet. Now, it doesn't have the actions that we took, but we always post the minutes as soon as they're approved. I'd have to go back and look at that one. I did not see that.
Okay.
But, I mean, we can make them available to anybody with an open records request within 24 hours. That's not a problem.
Do you know, Danny?
And also, remember, these are being recorded now. So the
True.
recording of this will be online the next
A link
day.
can be
And that would be,
provided.
that would, well, the city provides the link for it.
Yeah, your
So-
minutes.
Well, I'm saying if we were to get a request, we could.
Well, it
We
says
could tell
must
them to
be
look at the link
prepared
on
in
YouTube.
writing.
Right.
Huh?
It says
Yes.
must be prepared in writing.
Offload.
The YouTube does not trump your minutes. This is definitely a Paul question, but I believe your minutes have to be done within 48 hours. But in order to certified minutes, that can only be done at your next meeting once the minutes are approved. So I believe that is, but I can double check with Paul on that. But I believe after 48 hours, you have to publish your minutes. They're just not certified until you all meet again and actually adopt those minutes.
Gotcha. So it's a summary before it's certified is
Yes.
what we think.
Certified can only, like, the minutes from last meeting are now certified because you approved them.
Yeah, and I will put them
And it
on.
doesn't matter what you said on YouTube, it matters what you voted on in this meeting on the minutes. So if you have some minutes that are, need to change, you make sure you do it before you vote them, because once you vote, it's done. You have to have another actual item to change the minutes in order for them to reflect the change. But I'll ask Paul that, just to confirm that.
Okay, so then other things that came up in the training, hold on, let me make sure I have this in order, are like the legal things of it, and I actually did that module twice, because obviously we lost a lot of strength in that part because Dana knew all that stuff and I don't. So the voting ethics part of it, like I said, you guys will take it, but some things that I didn't know that we should have all probably known is if you recuse yourself from a vote, you can never vote on that subject again, and you cannot be in the meeting while we discuss it. It's not just that I'm not gonna vote this one time. Like, you have to,
Leave the room.
every time we discuss it forever. So I don't know, but I wish Paul was here because there was a whole bunch of stuff about like conflict of interest and stuff like that, but some of this is conflict of interest, but we're on the DDA because we're business owners. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I think the conflict of interest comes in when we're dealing with property or putting forward something that might benefit us
Yes.
individually.
Danny's saying yes.
That's the way I read it. I read most of what you're talking about now.
So conflict of interest would be if, Terry, your business applied for a grant for this, from the city or from the DDA, then you could not vote on that because that directly affects you. As far as a conflict of interest, you'd have to recuse yourself. And I would double check when leaving the room. I don't know if that's,
That's what-
but I would ask Paul. He's your attorney, so I'd get with him.
Yeah, that's what the guy on there said. You cannot be in the room anymore. You have to get up and leave. But, so like 254 Main, because I own the building across the street, it's not a conflict of interest, right?
No, I believe the way I read it is direct relation to you. It was your building, personally.
have to have you were
Or
buying
you
the
had
property.
some type
I
of
mean,
interest in that building.
Honestly, if you looked at it that way, anything we do to improve the business downtown would be a conflict of interest to you then,
Yeah.
as a business owner.
That is true.
So that's
Jamie
not
as
a
well. Will and Brack still, all you guys.
Unless you have a financial responsibility in 254 Main,
Get out.
then I don't think it
Or
would be a
talk.
conflict of interest for
No.
you. Even though it benefits you if it looks great.
Yeah.
It's gonna benefit every business.
It
But that's the
will
purpose of the DDA.
That's exactly right.
is
I
to
mean,
build it.
it was a certain amount of business owners had to be on the panel, so
Yeah, I agree with him. I think it's only
that's kind of,
direct.
Okay, and then the only other thing that came out in training that I do want to address is also about 254 Main. And that was, we had a lot of questions. I know I had a lot of questions. I said it loudly a million times of why did city council give this to us? Like, why didn't they figure it out themselves? Like, they knew they were fighting over it, why they didn't get it. And in those conversations, Paul and Brandon both said because that is why there's a DDA, and they are absolutely right. And once you take the training, you will agree that that was the right decision to make. So we do need to be involved in 254 Main, and that is what our job is because we are appointed and they are elected. So we are supposed to make decisions without fear of not getting reelected. So we don't, our decisions are based on just what we think is right or wrong.
Realistic.
And they have to worry about reelection, and even if they don't have to worry about it, it takes a certain person who's gonna vote in a way that knows they're not gonna get reelected if they wanna be. So, I apologize to the city council for saying that horrible stuff I said about them. I'm just kidding, I didn't say anything horrible. So we do, you know, that makes it make a whole lot of sense. So we'll move on to the new business, which includes 254 Main, but I did want to say that 254 should be on us. We should be the decision makers. Because ain't none of us, well, one of us may be worrying about getting elected. Okay, so new business, wait, we don't have, do we have a vote on anything? We didn't make any decisions.
No.
Okay. New business, first, 254 Main Street, IGA, and plan for city property. So Terry sent me quite a lengthy email, and Terry, if you're watching, I'm so sorry if I don't do it justice, but he delved pretty deep into 254 Main, and he needs to be here. We're not gonna make any decisions, but that's one reason we're not gonna probably make any decisions, and we can't, is because we need him to be here. Other than, I did email all the city council members, and Brandon, Melanie, Lisa, and Skip all responded and said that they would be for transferring 254 Main to the DDA for us to do what we feel is right with it after they saw the IGA. So my idea was to make sure they wanted to do it before we wasted the money of getting the IGA, but they are a different sort. They want to see the IGA before they actually agree to it, but in theory, they are not against it. So
Makes sense.
we do need,
Oh, sorry. I missed that in the email. They want to see the IGA before.
that was Patty, Lisa, and maybe Ann, I can't remember.
So they want to see the IGA before they
The
transfer the
city's not
property.
gonna turn it over to us until we give them some kind of vision of what we're
Yeah,
gonna do with the
I
property.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Even though we make the decision, we still gotta go within the city's
Yeah.
vision of the property.
I would do
And
the
they wanna
same
see that in the IGA.
So
Right.
basically, that's the normal process, is
It
to
is,
go
okay.
ahead and do the IGA and get it to them.
Yeah,
You don't ask
they
them
will not
first
vote
what
on
they-
it.
Yeah.
They won't vote on it and turn it over to us without an IGA.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I wouldn't, if I were a city councilman, I wouldn't wanna vote on it either, just to give it to them without knowing what they're gonna do with it.
So does the possibility remain that we could do the IGA and then they could say, no, it's not yours, we're keeping
Yeah.
it?
No, we are doing, we're gonna go ahead and do the IGA.
No, but I mean, they could still vote.
No,
the
I'm saying we could do,
IGA down.
they're saying the IGA has to be done first. So I'm saying this possibility exists that they do the IGA and then they're like, we're gonna hold on to it, we're not gonna transfer it to
That could
TDA.
happen.
Absolutely. So
Right.
Danny, in that email thing, somebody said that you had talked to Paul and he can't finish the IGA until the October meeting. Is that correct?
That's what he told us.
So speaking with Paul, he has to talk with the city council to get their items that they want to see on the IGA, and then he'll put together an IGA. So it'd probably more like November before an IGA is produced. But his plan is to talk with the city council on next council meeting to find out their items that they want to see in the IGA, and then go from there.
Just out of curiosity, because I don't know much about the city, I know y'all's elections are in November. When are those people in office sworn in? Is it like,
January.
so it would be the current right now? If it's that timeline, most likely it would still be the current council. Not that it really makes a difference, I'm just thinking through it.
Yeah, typically, I don't know if you have the complete IGA done by December, it may be January. I mean, it's not an easy document just
No,
to
no,
produce
I
on the
agree.
property. And it may take 2 council meetings for approval.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I guess that brings us to, and Brandon's not here, but Melanie is, but we don't have two sides of the opposition, let's be honest. Terry's main question, I think all of our question as a group is what are the city's true intentions with 254 Main? Because obviously, we've built a park there, everyone seems to be a little bit confused about what we're doing, so we want to make sure if that's what you want us to do, we'll do it. But is that what you guys really want to do? Should we put it on hold? I don't
Well,
know if
that-
anyone here knows.
That's what the IGA is for. And they draw the IGA, we tell them what we want to do with it, or they tell us what they want done with the property, and they either vote yes or no. For us to do any work until they do the IGA is just spinning the wheels, in my opinion, I'm saying. But
I understand the official way of doing it, but how do we do the IGA if we don't know what they want?
well, that's what Danny just said, is that Paul will talk to the city council and see what they want in the IGA. Tell us what we can do with the property. The city's not just gonna give it the property to us.
No, I don't
and
think
not
they.
give us a vision to go.
Yeah, that part I don't mind. I just wish I could just say, what do you guys want us to do and get an answer faster than 30 days from now?
It's not gonna happen.
May I ask why it's so complicated?
If you're dealing with a piece of property, is the city gonna, are y'all gonna sell it? If you're gonna sell it, what you gonna sell it for? And if you do sell it, what's your percentage of commission? Are you gonna get commission? Are you gonna use a realtor? The city council says, I don't want to see apartments on that property. I want to see a restaurant. I mean, there's a million things the city council, if I knew what they wanted, trust me, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be a mind reader. but-
Remember last time we asked just for 254 Main and not the other property? Because we pretty much know there's gonna be a commercial building going in there. We pretty much know it's gonna look like Main Street. So that's what we need to hammer out in the IGA. And I don't think you specify exactly what business goes in there, but you specify what you want it to look like. And that's where we have control over the sale. If somebody puts a plan up that's totally out and not within the vision of what we want for the city, then we can deny it. And that's why we sell it instead of the city council, because they have to take the highest bidder. Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Right, so would it be more effective if like I came to the city council meeting and just talked to them about it here? Or do we have to speak through Paul?
Well, you can certainly come and talk, but, of course, you can't speak for them, the other director. So they may say no to the conditions that the city council says. City council could say, you know, we want this type of business, or we do not want this type of business on that property. You can sell it if these items are met. I mean, it's a lot of, it's not as simple as,
When I brought up the IGA, we were spending a lot of time discussing 254 Main. And I brought up the IGA so that the city could officially tell us, this is what we want to do with the property, and give us the property to do it with. That gives us a track to go. But anything we do now, until the city does the IGA, signs it and gives us the property, we're just guessing.
So, I'm sorry. So when we all, well, not when we, because I was sitting there, but when you guys were all up here going about it, we were like, you know, yeah, let's do commercial, forget about cottages. So that was just us talking, but it
Well,
doesn't
no,
necessarily mean.
no, what it is we were going on what the previous, who was the people that did the study?
Probably Southmore.
Sizemore rendition, and it was just the simplest drawings of a commercial building on 254 Main, and then cottages on the property behind.
Right.
We asked to separate that because there was a lot of discrepancy about the cottages, and that piece of property has come under, has reduced some because of the drainage. So we asked at that meeting, let's just concentrate on 254 Main. It's something we can sell. We're pretty clear as to what goes there. And if the city will give it to us with that idea, then we could go ahead and move on.
Right, because we had talked about it should be a brick building to match the library, which would match the
Well,
majority
yeah.
of the
So
buildings.
basically what we're gonna do is wait for the city to do the IGA, and then we'll decide from there if we
Yeah,
are
we
willing
can
to
do
take on
nothing.
what they want us to do.
that's correct. 'cause-
We can do nothing until we get an IGA signed by the city giving us the property.
Okay, good, that's a good
But
enough.
wait, just one more question for Danny, if I may. So we, you know, we all sat here and talked about, we don't want the cottages, we just want commercial. But, so you guys could do your IGA and turn around and say, well, we want the cottages. And so you steer the ship at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
then we
city,
decide.
Well, the city council
City
always-
council owns the property.
Right,
So it's what they want. So you can get it, say, you know what, this is not in our wheelhouse, we're not gonna do this, and you could not accept the IGA. But, you know, I think the council wants this done, it's just getting all their wants on paper sent to y'all with a clear message this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're willing to do, if you're willing to take it on.
And is there any, like, interfacing with one another to fine tune anything? Or city council calls the shots and we're just like, take it or leave it?
No, it typically go back and forth. Y'all could have concerns that, hey,
That's where Paul comes in, is the
Correct.
back and forth
Okay.
drafting the IGA.
Okay, okay.
and y'all can definitely come to the meeting and speak as chairwoman. You can say, this is what our committee talked about. I mean, I'm sure they're watching now, so, I mean, they all want, I think, to do something. It's just, what is that something? It's gotta be on paper.
Yeah,
Basically-
so we just need to see that. I don't think we should get our minds on shooting down anything that's not already on our plan, because we are a baby DDA and we are just now learning. So if they come back and say, you know, we want cottages there, I think we should discuss it and discuss who made that decision, you know? If it's, a majority of them want the cottages, we really need to, they're the elected officials. If it didn't really seem like it, like, you know what I mean? We need to hear what they have to say, and just the legalities of how we hear what they have to say, I guess, is what I'm getting stumped on, because we can't all be together in the same room ever. So,
Well, I think, and the way I see it, you tell me if I'm wrong, but the city council should set the vision for what they want the downtown to look at. And then it's our job to promote that vision as much as we can within the boundaries of it. I mean, they own
Tara.
the property.
I guess the best way to look at the IGA, and we do many of them, it's just an agreement between two separate entities. At the end of the day, this is what we envision happening, and everybody's on the same page. And then we move on, what decision we make that we're going to follow through. So the IGA is not a big deal. The ideas expressed in the IGA have some weight.
no, I don't disagree, but we are dealing with a city council that is a little argumentative a little bit, and we need to get some traction getting something done. So if this is gonna take until January, then I'm glad to know that now, so we can focus our attention on something else.
It's gonna take until January.
Yeah, we don't need to meet every month to talk about 254 Main. It
Until-
doesn't need to be back on this agenda until we,
And that was why I said, let's not put it on the agenda until we get an IGA hammered out with last month.
I'm not as smart as you. And now I get it.
Am I correct, though? Last meeting, we only chose to write an IGA up of the front, is it .9? We're not doing anything trees back. I'm pretty sure we asked not for that.
Yeah, we
What we
just,
asked
I
for
said from the
254
paved parking lot back to Main Street is what I
Perfect.
said.
And that, well, I agree, though, and like, I think I don't care how divided the board is on stuff. I think most people would agree we want commercial, we want restaurants, business. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. I think the problem will be trees back. But we're not even worried about that right now.
I
So-
suspect we may be in for city council wanting cottages.
Oh, yeah, well, but we don't have to worry about it right now. That's what I love. Like, we don't want that
Who
right
on
now.
city council wants cottages?
That's on the back part of,
On the
it's not
back.
on the front.
There's not enough
Main-
space there. It's a bad idea.
Well, I'll say that city council just saw two different groups that what their specialty is rewriting ordinances and things. And city council had some questions for them. And one of the questions was about cottages on 254 Main and a couple of other pieces of property. So it sounds like it is on their radar.
And let me just clarify this. When we've been talking about 254 Main, we've been talking about the piece behind it with Pecan Street too. That's where the cottages were gonna come in, because they were gonna wrap the cottages all the way around Pecan Street on the original Sizemore drawings. That's where I got it from. I may have been wrong. But we agreed, because
That's what
the
we said, we're only
cottages
gonna work
were,
on the front.
that we would ask just for that front part, because we know pretty much a commercial building's going in there. So that's what we were working on 254 Main. Now, and the cottages may come up in the future. I can't see anybody voting to put a cottage right there on Main Street.
yeah, it's not the Main Street, it is the back part. But we have to remain open to, if they want cottages, to talk about it, because I think what's happening so much with 254 Main is everyone's fighting about it, and it keeps stalling out for years and years and years.
Sure.
And there's so much opportunity there that we're just leaving there because no one wants to make a decision or we keep splitting. So there are ways to put cottages there and make the city a whole lot of money, and like, we're to protect the city. That's what the DDA is to do, is to protect the city from those kinds of decisions and things. So I'm just saying, if they ask for cottages, we're gonna talk about cottages. They may not, so we don't need to talk about it now, but we do need to discuss it, and we do need to make sure that we're making the decision based on what people want, not what we personally want to see. We can, because we're appointed, but we really need to find, we need to really know what people want on that backside. We know they want a restaurant on the front. I think we know they probably don't want cottages, but if for some reason the city council puts it back to us with cottages, we need to figure out why and what we can do to help the city get their vision, but also not do something that we don't want to actually do.
Is there a plan to build cottages and other properties around the city of the downtown?
That was in the Sizemore overlay for the whole downtown they were in there, yes.
I think that'll be answered, David, when they do the rezoning. The thing about the cottages was people wanted to try to get some affordable housing, number one, use the property, number two, and also have people there to support the businesses that are going to be downtown, number three. That's the reason.
So there's two sides to the argument, is that good businesses won't come downtown because there aren't enough people right there. And the other side of the argument is that we have so many people on the way and all these projects already approved that we need to see what, like, that should change it. So that's the kind of two sides of the aisle, that if you've chosen a side,
It's a
someone
debate
is
for another
on.
time.
I have no side. I want what's best for Loganville, so.
Yeah, I have
don't
no
a
side either. I don't know, I don't understand the huge opposition to the cottages because there's residential all around that area. But people smarter than me have told me that there don't need to be cottages there, so I'm willing to listen. But I'm also willing to listen to their being them there.
Right, and either which way, we're back to the IGA has to get done, and so, as
Yeah.
you guys have already said, there's no point in putting it on the agenda, because
Okay, so we won't talk about 254 Main unless you guys have something you want to talk about until city council gets that IGA done in like 8 to 10 months.
Hope not.
Liability.
Can I-
Yes.
May I just ask one thing real
Of
quick?
course.
I'm jumping back out of order, but on training, did you tell the new people about what we had worked with the Georgia Main Street on them coming out here? And we had talked about
No,
doing
but
it
I
in
think
January.
didn't we decide we were gonna do it? Yeah, we were gonna wait until,
Do it in January?
yeah,
Okay.
where it's not butting up against the holidays.
Sounds good. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, not at all. Okay, next, liability insurance verification. This is from Terry's email, and what he is saying is we need to see that the city's liability insurance policy covers us, because in our training, and we both took the same training, so I know what he's talking about, they say that, first of all, most DDAs do not share a lawyer with their city, but their city does cover them for liability insurance. So his concern was the liability insurance. He wants to see that we are, like, he wants the document. My concern is a little bit about Paul, because they were so against it, and I don't really understand why, but like, the training. people.
Training, sharing the same attorney.
Yeah, they did not want us sharing the same attorney because they said the conflict of interest.
There's a conflict of
is
interest.
constant.
Because the city attorney ultimately represents the city, and we are two separate agencies.
Yeah,
When
and
we
it
were the
might have-
LDA, we had a separate attorney.
And it might have been just like their job to, worst case scenario, as some training is, but they were really, really against it. And they even went as far to say, Danny, you may have taken this training before, that even though the city council puts the DDA in place, they do not run the DDA. It's run by the state. And so us going back to you and your attorney all the time asking questions just isn't the right way to do it, because basically, not accusing you, I don't think you would, but you could tell me what you want to happen, but my own attorney would say, no, 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 the state says you need to do this or that, or, you know, the state law is this or that.
Well, that seems to, would eat through the budget really, really, really quick.
That's my only
'cause, that
concern
would be a very
money-wise.
We
expensive.
actually
Well-
didn't spend but about $500 or $600 a year on legal fees before, but
Yeah, because we won't have her here like Paul's here looking over everything. Like if we enter
Okay.
into an or her, it was a her.
Be like a retainer, use it as.
Yeah, we
as-
could
Okay.
use her at, she might have been on a retainer, I wasn't here
She
when we
was.
had her.
Yeah, that was the only reason I think Paul did it was because to save you money.
Cost, yeah.
yeah,
'Cause I know
he's doing it for
The
free.
LDA, they stopped using her because they couldn't afford her.
Okay,
So it went through the budget pretty quick.
On the question of liability insurance verification,
Liability is covered.
I remember this coming up in
It did.
LDA, and it is covered.
It is. I remember we talked about that
All
a
boards
year
and
ago.
commission are covered under the city's liability.
Okay.
and they said that most are, but that was he was very concerned.
Dana asked that question probably a year or so ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
day
was
one.
when we were still
Yeah, I think so,
LDA.
yeah.
I mean, maybe he just didn't know because he was. I just want to make sure we make him feel safe. DDA overlay map. So, this is another Terry. He should just be the chairman. He was not able to see the DDA overlay map. And going through the training, I realized that one thing that was lacking before, even though the LDA, you want to give those to Jamie, and, you know, the other regime definitely did a great job on the things they were doing, but you just kind of get thrown into the position with absolutely no information. So these books.
did you?
I did make this.
Interrupt.
Well, it's all stuff I got from the city tonight. I'm
Still.
sorry. So this is all the information that you guys will need to know to be on the DDA, and some of it we're just now seeing, you're probably seeing for the first time. But it has the mission statement we came up with, the vision statement we came up with. It has the DDA bylaws, which Paul just rewrote for us when we went into whatever it's called, enacted. It has the DDA map, which is what Terry's main question is about. It has a list of all the downtown businesses, but I can tell you it's not up to date because it shows one of my properties is owned by someone else. It says June 2024, so I'm not really sure. Maybe we just put that date on it, and it's kind of small in there.
Yeah.
It has the Loganville Comprehensive Plan from June 2022, because Terry had a lot of questions about what the city's vision is, which is the next point. Brandon did come to, I don't know, like 5 or 6 meetings ago, and he met with us, and he gave us this comprehensive plan, and he kind of went through what he, as the economic chair, what his plan and vision for downtown was and for all of Loganville. So I included that because it does have some good information in it, statistics, stuff like that. And it's one of those things that he compiled all of this, and he is the economic chair. So he is the one who kind of stays on top of this information. So it coming from him is kind of important, but it also has like the surveys they did. You hear them referencing surveys all the time. So those are in here. So if you have a question about, you know, what people want, I don't know why it's 2022. I'm guessing you guys don't do this every year. Every 5 years we do it, so. Just kidding, I didn't know. So, but this is the most recent one. So when we're making decisions on where we're gonna go, you obviously are gonna need this information. Brandon also at that time provided us with that same map, but like a more comprehensive idea of what he wanted there and what we needed and what we wanted to do. And, you know, there's a list of different businesses that are prohibited, like we can't have a kennel on Main Street, things like that. So when we're soliciting businesses, if that's what we're gonna do, Brandon has mapped out everything for us to kind of show what is and what isn't available. So that handles getting Terry a map. I have a book for him too. But his question, and I disagree with it, but I'm gonna pose it because I don't get to decide, is if we can extend the map to cover all of Loganville so that the DDA can get involved in commercial.
That was the LDA.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think we have enough with just Main Street. Why would we want to?
No.
Well, the whole reason the DDA was created was to concentrate on downtown.
Yeah, well,
Get
he
away
like
from
referenced I guess some sort of development is happening next to the Ford dealership. And he was like, we could get involved with that, and that was his example. But I just think we barely have we're barely figuring out Main Street. I don't know why we would want to do that, but if he was here, he may have an explanation to win me over. I'm just saying
Never
personally.
mind that, I mean,
Well-
is that even a thing, that like the downtown overlay just can't be
I mean,
redrawn?
yeah,
You'd have to
if you were gonna do that,
reignite
you would have to
LDA.
dissolve the DDA and go back to the LDA.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Well, he
different
said in his
organizations.
research that we could redraw the map and submit it.
The
But
city.
he wanted to know if the city did that or we did it.
The city council.
It doesn't, it's just
I
a
wanna-
question that we need to answer for him because obviously he's a director and he's the vice chair. I understand that would be a great thing for us to do. I don't think any of us, maybe he is, are ready to take on the commercial property development in Loganville. So.
I think what the LDA finally determined was that 78, for the most part, takes care of itself because it's all zone commercial. The people that come in, a lot of times the council don't even know till they get here. So I think they felt like they were spinning their wheels a little bit on things that they had no control over, and downtown was suffering and waiting for help.
No, I agree. I'm good with that. I'm sure.
We can just
he'll-
ask him next time. We can leave it on the
Yeah, he
agenda
just
for
asked
him
me to put it on the agenda and for us to discuss it, and that's just my 2 cents is I think
Yeah,
we got
that
way too much other things that we could do way before we got into.
and I don't think it's
commercial
that
property.
easy, right, Danny, to just like redraw the map?
I think it has to be some type of four corners of your downtown. It cannot encompass the entire city, because then that would take it from a downtown association to a development authority for the city of Loganville. Because there's certain things you can do that LDAs can't do, and there's certain things LDAs can do that you can't do.
But
So I
we
think that's
could redraw.
You
the
can redraw
map
your downtown map, yes.
to include, like, what if we like cross the street or?
That's- You're gonna really have to consult with your attorney on that. I'm not sure of the state law, but how it words the downtown map. But I believe you can change your map.
I'm just
think-
saying if we
but
went a
doesn't the
little
city council have
further
to do
out either way, if we needed more businesses or, I don't know, we've got enough. I was just wondering, they did make it seem in training that if a section of your downtown was kind of left out of the original map, you could go back and change it. What he is talking about is all of
I
Loganville.
believe you're correct on that.
Yeah, okay. So, we'll go over that more. Then, city council vision versus DDA vision, we've already kind of touched on that, but we need to really figure out a plan of how we can communicate with city council and the DDA to figure out what they want us to be working on besides 254 Main. They had to have some ideas when they put the DDA in place, and I think we need to hear what those are, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how other DDAs do it, and I don't know
Is this a
how-
Terry question, or is this you?
That one is of both of us.
Okay.
Terry's more encompasses just 254 Main in the park, and do they even want to do that? How do we find out? Which is a great question because, we don't want to waste our time on things that the city already has covered. But I think as a whole, we just need to know really what the city wants from us, but I don't know how to. I guess I'm asking for Skip or Danny if you guys have any advice on
I think
how
you
we get that.
have to have a retreat once the new council takes office in January, and start with that.
Sounds great.
Then we could invite them to the retreat for the Main Street that we posed here. That way, they would see what we're doing and we could get an idea from them. And that has to be an open meeting, so.
It has to be a public meeting. You can have it wherever you choose to have it, however.
I don't think it doesn't matter where we have it. I don't care where we have it.
Oh, I
Well,
wouldn't care
we
where
were
I
gonna
either.
have- we were gonna have it here, maybe just put
Yeah.
some
And
tables.
we just
out.
we'll sit out there with some tables and let them sit up
That's how
here.
it's usually.
When you say retreat, it makes me feel like we're going to like Gatlinburg.
Do you want to go to Gatlinburg?
Whatever your budget.
I keep thinking, as soon as,
We gotta go overseas.
as soon as you said
Picture a
that, I'm
spa.
like, I can't spend the night, I have a baby.
No, no, no.
Why would they make us all stay in the house together?
Like historically, when council done it, it's just been tables and everybody just sits here.
Let's just call it a GMA training session
Let's
instead
do
of
that,
a
because
retreat.
I don't wanna think I'm going on vacation with the whole city council. I love them all, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
So we need to nail that down. I'm going to say this, we have 3 more months of the year and we have 3 more meetings of the year. And I would like for us to have our ideas down and on paper and a good plan to start going. I'm not the kind of person who wants to wait till January, but,
I'm with you on that one.
well, good luck with Danny because he slows me down all the time. He's like, whoa,
Man, she
This
just
is
threw
the
you under the
government.
bus,
You can't
Danny. How do you feel about
do
that?
whatever you want.
It's the
Drop
government.
everything over here.
So,
So I think
I mean,
we.
I'm thinking that that's something we might put to the agenda for next month to just have like a
that's what I
spitballing
think we
session.
need. The next 3 months needs to be so we can go into January with an actual comprehensive plan of what we are going to be working on.
Right.
And I mean, we can talk about it now, but it's getting to the point that
Yeah, it's
it's
getting late.
long. So we're going to be, not 100% into it, but we do need to figure out what our vision is. We do have some city council vision and we do have access to talk to them. It's not as formal, but Brandon did, provide us with all of this. Now you have all of it on paper, so we can read through it, kind of get there. Terry seems to be very interested in the property development and things like that. I'm much more interested in like the events, the business,
It's a great duo, though.
support of small business.
good too.
But, Terry's opinion was that, that's what Christie's for, but
Well, and I think if
I
we
think
put it on the
Christie wants
agenda,
me on her team.
who wouldn't want you on their team, Jared?
Thank you.
Look at these.
She didn't agree though, so. So,
Please.
Booklets.
And there's a way we can hybrid some of that stuff. We also need to find out, the city's offered us their staff, but Terry feels that the city doesn't have the staff or the time to properly help us, so we shouldn't even ask. I have never gotten that feeling, and I've never gotten told that. I've never had a problem speaking with anyone in the city within 2 minutes.
Yep, ditto, ditto.
I email them all the time, and usually I'm at a 10, and they still respond. So, like I said, we all have a different, how we're dealing with it. So he may be dealing with different people than I deal with at the city, but I don't see them, I don't want to say they're not overwhelmed with work, but I
No,
just-
but they've always been very
yeah, I
good,
feel like
responsive. yeah.
maybe we at least try to give them the stuff, and then kind of like Kyle said, yeah, I can do this, but I can't do
Right.
this all
Yep.
day, every day
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
And go back and forth before we decide on our own that that's Christie's job and we need to stay out of it. But Christie may be happy that we, want to take over some of those things
Agreed.
or make money that the city's not allowed to or whatever. Whatever the laws are. So, basically that's on there just to talk about, getting ready for it in the next 3 meetings. That's all we're going to talk about.
Right, that's what I was gonna
Our
say. I mean, it looks
vision.
like we're kind of tying up a lot of loose ends so that by the next time of the next meeting, I think we could spend more time on this type of stuff.
Yeah, and then funding and spending options, we need to break down into long-term and short-term. Short-term, we need to figure out what we're gonna spend that $25,000 the city gave us.
Oh, I forgot about
We
that.
fought and lost our friends and family over that 25,000. Sadie at Monroe will never set foot in this town again because of me. So we need to find out what we're gonna do with that money after really nothing happened, I don't think.
Well, wouldn't that money just go back to the website? That would be something that we could use for the website, no?
We can use it for whatever we want.
Yeah, not that,
Right,
not that we want to
Danny?
blow $25,000 on the
Whatever we want.
website, but you know.
No,
we
yeah,
have
we're
to-
not going to, but if you look in the book I provided you, on the very back is the
Yeah.
plan we made when we asked the city for $45,000.
Oh, yes, 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 I remember
This
this.
is what we were
remember
going
this.
to use it for.
Yes.
And we've just been taking our sweet time. Grant writer,
Yep.
she's just not interested anymore, so we would have to find a new one. She didn't, she seems to, I don't know who made her mad, but it wasn't me. But are we gonna grant the money? We had talked about Miss Joyce's house, doing that for the historic. So for short term, we do need to figure out what we're gonna be working on. Because I think that the city council, I haven't read a lot of negative stuff about us from a lot of city council people, but the one I
Yeah.
do is very vocal that we are not doing anything. And I guess we can't disagree. We haven't done much except for fight over this $25,000, so.
Tara,
spend it.
Tara,
Yeah.
you might want to add one little phrase to anything we want to do within the laws of Georgia.
Within the laws of Georgia.
There are many, many restrictions on things that government entities can do and can't do.
And what we can spend.
Just be aware.
Yeah, of course.
Did that check get deposited?
No, they're holding it at the bank until we open a new account. Now that we have Jamie, they'll open it for her. I have,
Go to the bank.
they do our business account, so they work with me a little bit on that stuff, so.
Okay, I just didn't know if that was one of those checks that's void in 90 days.
Because they keep giving us money and we keep asking for.
No, but it's only like 28 days old anyway.
So, I mean, this stuff, Tara, will just kind of naturally flow into when we're talking about like, what is our vision and,
It will, but there's some things we need to have, we have a lot of questions on, and Danny's, you're coming to the meetings now? Or you're just coming when you can?
I'm gonna do my best to be here.
Okay, so for the next one at least, if we could plan around your schedule, if we're able to, because I have a lot of questions about like historic preservation and stuff, and why we aren't a city that's designated for that, and if the city's willing to become that. And I have asked a little bit, and everyone says Danny is in charge of that.
I'm not in charge of anything historical.
So if we.
is there anybody?
Smell.
There is nothing that I know of on historical registry for the city of Ludlow. Now, I don't know how you add stuff. I would have to research that.
Oh, don't worry, I have my GDA one-on-one packet right here, so I can tell you.
That's more of your Paul, city attorney.
Oh, it's not you.
No.
I've only seen Paul like 3 times in my life, and I have to ask him everything, and I'm intimidated by new people, so. But there's a way we get, I made some notes around here, sorry.
Yeah.
I know
was-
typically
Talking about
historical,
Historical buildings.
when you start making things historical, there's a lot of red tape. It sounds good until you want to change things, and then you have to do certain things by the book.
CLG, Certified Local Government. So if we are certified local government, then we can put buildings on our national registry, or on the national registry, and then we can, the DDA can facilitate helping them. So, for example, my building is 100 years old or something, 80 years old. It has to be over 50 years old. So if the city is a certified local government, then you guys can go put my building on, and I can apply for all those grants and anything I need, just because I live in a city that made me that, and that's something we can offer businesses to come. And then like Miss Joyce's house, we can put her on there. It's a little different because with me, you could put me on there and then you can tell me it has to look like this when you're done. When that building was first built, this is what it looked like and it has to be that. So you or the city council can control that, or the DDA will for the city. But, you know, if we put Joyce's on there and she decides to drive a tractor through it, we can't do anything about it because it's hers. But it does give us the ability to give incentive, and Monroe, Brunswick, Columbus, like all the city, Dublin, they've all done it.
But it's historical buildings for business, not residential.
It's both.
Yeah, but DDA is geared towards business, not residential.
It is, but their thoughts are, this is actually one of the things I emailed him about because I wanted to know more about
Kim
this.
Paul?
No, this other lawyer. No, I don't. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's.
I don't know Paul, so I don't email him. But residents in our downtown overlay are considered that because they do affect property value. They affect what kind of businesses. So if there are just slums all over Loganville that are like crack houses or something, Ruth Chris isn't going to move to downtown. So we can get involved as long as we're making decisions that protect the city and are in the best interest of moving business forward, which sometimes is getting involved in that historical preservation. But if we are CLG, then we can get the businesses on that registry and then get them the help they need to get their buildings looking like we want them to look.
Most businesses would fall into that, I know my business would fall into that
I think
category.
every bit.
Is
one on
there
Main
like
Street
a
falls into
contact
it.
for CLG that we could go to and get more information?
I'll go. I just didn't know if there was like we already tried to do that and we didn't, because there's some things that I've gone down hours-long rabbit hole, like the CHIP grant. Well, people in Loganville are way too rich for us to get that because, our median income is 60,000, it has to be like 20. So there are a lot of things that they may already know that we can't do.
Paul may be a good resource since Monroe is already there. One of the things that I've found, some of the buildings that have been converted in Monroe to historic type things, on 11 in particular, have gone commercial. Some of them are really frustrated. Just an example, they do not allow any tint to be put on the windows.
Tint, if I said tint.
The windows are large in those old buildings. And if it's 95 outside, even with air, it's 84 inside. So that's the kind of things that he would be aware of that I'm not, but I've had some of them tell me, golly.
If I remember right, Bill Jones looked into this, and one of the biggest things was business could not do what they want to do because it has to be historical to that time frame. That you can only remodel to that time frame.
Yeah,
So like if Braxton redid his business, if it was on the historical side, it could only be done in that time frame. So if you wanted to use metal, well, metal wasn't available in 18 whatever, you had to use wood.
Yeah,
So
like what I
I
did-
think it's it's one of those things that's kind of like an HOA. You love to have them, but then you hate them when you want to do stuff. So that's definitely a Paul question we'll have to ask and see
Yeah.
how to do that.
But we need to look at it objectively because there is so much money available to
Absolutely.
the business owners.
Nothing wrong with that.
And for me personally, of course, it's just me, if I can get 50% of my building paid for by just doing what they want me to do, I'll deal with not having tinted windows. You know what I mean? But I might not be in the majority on that. That's just how I feel. But there's a town in the training, Toccoa, they didn't want street parking anymore. So they redid their whole downtown, tore everything down, took the street parking away. Well, then you find out that street parking is really important. They went and became CLG certified, got all of those buildings certified, and rebuilt their whole town with that money and put it back. And they used all new material, just made it look like it was old, and, it got paid for.
I'm sure there can be a lot of advantages. I was not trying to be negative. I was just letting you know,
Oh, I didn't.
when you go that route,
Caution, yeah.
they put restrictions on it in the people you have to deal with's mind to keep it historical. How many windows back in 1850 had tinted windows? How many buildings? None. So,
Yeah.
Just an
We just need to
example.
get the information and look at it.
Maybe
And
a
like
lot
I
of
said,
great stuff.
The business owners also have to agree to be put on the registry and be a part of it. But from what I know of business owners downtown, other than Jamie and Braxton, we're all new, we're all, not new, but you know what I mean? We're not people who've owned those buildings forever. So we might be willing to,
see, Jamie, yours is over 100 years old, isn't it?
Well, the property is, but the building was tore down where the sign was in 1969, and it was built since 69, so it would meet the 50-year thing, but yeah, we've been on that property. My business right there was the bus stop between.
Yes, I read about it.
Atlanta and that, so it's
You all-
definitely a historical site for Loganville, for sure.
They're historical now. You also, I was telling him, you had that fire in '24. and lost almost all of Main Street. A lot of those buildings are 1924 and newer, but it doesn't matter. They're still 100 years old at this point. But I think ours, the one that the white building is 1862. I believe it's the oldest building, but it's old. It needs new pipes.
Certainly something you ought to look at and see what's available. Help you out.
It would be nice to talk to some restaurant owners, even though they're not coming to Loganville, but it'd be nice to talk to some folks in Monroe or even Lawrenceville and say, hey, if we do that, and let's just say you wanted to bring a restaurant downtown, would that maybe be a red flag for you? Because you are now restricted, because you could buy a historic building that wasn't a restaurant, but if it's a historic building, you can't modify it to be a restaurant, well, now that's off the table. So it's something we should talk about there too. We should talk to people who are on the ground, the guys in the fight out there running these businesses, and see what they say, things that they look for and what their red flags are. If a historical building, that could be actually more harm than good. And I know there's money to be made there, but if there's restrictions that prohibit their business from being put in there, we ought to know. I mean, I think we should talk to those folks.
Oh, yeah, sure, do full research.
We don't have, am I correct though? It's not like a whole city or a bus thing. It's like she can do it, but I don't have to.
Right.
Or,
What you want, yeah.
okay, you
Right,
do.
right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, you don't have to let them enter it in, but I think they get you with the money, and I was ready to. I would
So
sign
once it's
myself up
registered,
if I had
it's
the
set in
ability.
stone, there's no one doing it,
There's no one
correct?
doing it. No.
Once
We're
it's,
down in Milledgeville, and it is a pain to do anything.
Skip, do you know that?
I can't paint. I can't change a window out without full approval by historical district, city of Milledgeville. Like I hate it. Just being
I'm not
honest.
disagreeing with you at all, but it is, objectively looking at it, there's a reason why there was 3 modules of it in DDA 101, and why all the big cities they used as examples have all gone to it. So I'm not saying it's for us, but what I'm saying is we probably need to figure
Look
out
into
what
it.
they saw in it to do it, because they all love it and no one said a negative thing about that. Same with the Georgia cities, loans and things like that. We need to, in the next few meetings of strategic planning, everyone get their training and work out what the city already has tried and knows and aren't willing to do or won't work for us. And, ask a lot of questions. So that's really the last was the strategic planning and work plan is we need to, and if you look in your book, you'll see what our goals were for 24, 25, the last 3 pages. The goals and objectives, and we came up with that under Dana and Jamie, and it is, a great list. And we have our work plan that we've been working on that was supposed to be completed by the end of 2025. My only issue with it, that has always been, is this looked like a work plan that could be done in 2 months. But we stretched it out over all these years, but apparently we have to vote and enter into record and stuff, so we gotta be slow moving. So we need to just go through these 2 things and get ourselves back on track for what we actually want to do and do something, because we don't want to follow down the same reputation that the LDA ended up with and the DDA is that we do nothing but talk about doing stuff.
You had a list last time that was really, it kind of broke this down a little bit quicker. The one you presented last time about, it was like 5 things that one of us could take. You know what I'm talking about from the last meeting?
Yes, I did, but after talking with Terry, and he took it, and that was actually the suggestion of Patty Wolf. She said, they're all chairs, we should all have chairs too. He thinks that because we're not paid and we don't have staff, that is a little bit too overwhelming for every person. And so I was gonna save that conversation for when he's here to figure it out, because I am a say yes to everything person, so I don't want to put that on everyone else. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh my gosh, this is more than my full-time job that I'm having to do. So we need to go over what those are. A lot of them he believed we could work on together. I think the biggest thing you'll hear in the training is like the DDAs are not all the same, and a lot of it is just coincidental and oh, I play tennis with this person and they know this person who owns this restaurant. Like that's how they got Burger 21 or whatever in Monroe. Just like speaking to each other, or in
Yeah.
like
It's not like
Columbus, they
actually going out,
partnered
yeah.
with, people way outside of Columbus, but they speak highly of each other and they bounce off of each other, and they provide a ton of funding for Columbus, even though they aren't really in the downtown overlay. So the other part of it is we were put here because we're supposed to be experts in something. A lot of DDAs have a lot of real estate people, a lot of people with knowledge that we don't really seem to have. So we need to figure out, we need to learn about each other and what each of us brings to the table, and start, leveraging that. Jamie always has somebody he can call about something, so that's great. So we need to you know what I mean? We need to get all of that out and know a little bit more about each other and what we want to do and how much time we have to commit to it and stuff. So the next 3 meetings need to be about that, so that we can, I think that might have been what was missing before, is we just really didn't know. Like, Dana made me the treasurer, but like, I'm an accountant all day. I can do other things than look at our bank account that never moves. And that's not a slight against him. That's what he knew about me. I didn't bother to tell him anything else or why I was doing it or what I was. So that's why we're gonna handle it differently. Everyone who comes, we're gonna have these packets, we're gonna have all the information, and we'll try to move as quickly as governmentally allowed to move on getting something done.
And within the laws of the state of Georgia.
Within the laws of the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States of America.
Joanne's very familiar now, after having that sworn in tonight. As we all are.
Yep, yep.
So now public comment. Also, a lot of DDAs do public comment at the beginning and the end. So if someone has something they want to talk about during the meeting, we will.
I love me some public comment.
I don't mind public comment anyway either, so, but if you guys want to start a beginning public comment, but half of the time, this is the largest public we've ever had, honestly.
I'm also assuming public comment at the beginning, though, could be a recommendation that's something we can add to the agenda. Am I right? That's why they would do it at the beginning. If it's something that we're like, that's a good idea, we can add that to the agenda before. Am
I think
Yeah, but I
they
don't-
do
we-
it.
We can't add to the agenda
Yes,
as we're sitting
you-
here, can we? We can.
Yeah, you can add to the
Before you
agenda.
adopt
Before it's
this, you can
approved.
add on.
Yeah.
I'm not against, I mean, that way, if somebody really has something they want to hear us discuss, not that we're going to be that prepared, but it won't hurt any. I agree. I'm like, I want to hear
Yeah,
what people have
totally.
to say.
The council changed hours a couple of years ago because many of the residents said they wanted us to be aware of their thoughts before the vote was done. And there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with it. So we moved it from Thursday night at the end of the meeting to Monday night so they could have their points taken, and then we voted on Thursday. But just an idea.
I mean, I'm not against it. Like I said, we don't have a whole bunch of public comment, but if we get going, if people start being interested in what we're doing and they know we're coming to talk about something specific, because I'm going to try to also make the agendas have a little more information on them now. I'm not against someone, if someone wants to say something before we make a decision, or.
A lot of councils, and we have not adopted this, many cities have, you can have a sheet at the back door where people sign up if they want to speak and what subject they want to talk about, or you can put something on a website, and those would be the people that you recognize. That way you have a little bit more control, and you can make sure your meeting is
Do we need that yet?
at least not overwhelmed and ran for 4 hours, for example.
I'm okay, just for now, like I said, as we get going, I don't think we're debating something that might happen once or twice, but is that something we need to go on and like, just to vote on, just say next meeting we would allow it, or is that?
Oh, no,
something-
we don't have to, do we have to vote on that?
You just have to put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I just have
Just
to
have
put
it
it
on the agenda, but I
agenda.
would caution you of putting a time
Okay.
limit.
Yeah.
To what?
When you put a time limit
Okay.
on your agenda, and it needs to be related to something within your realm. If somebody comes and talks to you about taxes, that has nothing to do with
Yeah,
you all.
well, that makes sense.
The
So
council
I
would
would
spend the
say-
days from 3 minutes to 5, but whatever y'all decide.
Yep.
It's your meeting.
Yeah, I
And then it needs to be put on your
If this thing
agenda.
becomes a runaway train, we could
Just cut it off, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, adjust it if need be, but I just, yeah. I don't,
Well, guys, we can't do anything else for 3 months. We might as well have public comment.
yeah.
Is there any public comment tonight? Yes,
Miss
Miss
Joyce.
Joyce, please come to the podium.
Give us your name, where you live.
Miss Joy.
Do they have to do that at this one?
I have no idea.
Do they have to give, you have to give your name and address, ma'am, and the minutes. What?
Name and address official for the.
Oh, for the minutes. You don't have to give the minutes.
She does have to do the summary, though.
It take me that long just to get my mind where I want to say. I'm Joyce Davis.
Here comes microphone Melanie.
It sounds like it's on.
It's not.
That's good.
It sounded like it was.
I think Kyle turned it off.
Sounded like it was on.
Now it is, there wasn't a green light.
Okay.
It's on now.
Great.
There we go.
I'm Joyce Davis, 4421 Pecan Street. Because a lot is going on about our street, 254 Main and so forth. But I want to say something about the house. From what we can gather and all the information from the county and so forth, this house is 130 years old, a little bit more or less, who knows. This house has got the original wood, still everything. It's still there. This house is a Walton County landmark, number 37. This house, we've been working on the inside, just beautifying it from nothing. If y'all came in it, you wouldn't believe it. This house, my son has been collecting wood. The old houses were being torn down, but the outside wood was still good. And he's collected that would be in the era of the time it was built, because there are several places that have to be repaired before it can be sanded down and painted. He just had surgery on his shoulder. So this is eliminating him in a lot of ways that he would have been going to it, even though he is disabled and can only do so much at a time, has to rest. But we are real concerned. We want this house to be a complement to the rest of the town, because it has so much beauty and value that you can't see right now. This house will make a tremendous historical museum for this town. I know that we've been collecting things that people didn't desire and were thrown away that were real old, that has meaning in this town. And those who have never been here before would love to know what Loganville was, and it could still be. Okay, I want to get off that and talk about Pecan Street just for a second. I think that it was the Sellers thing that had the cottages on it, and that was quite a long time ago. And that was a good idea, and that was before the retention pond and the library came into effect. But honestly, I believe that street on the opposite side of my house could be used for some small shop, the buildings, to complement the rest of the town, that we could take in revenue. We need revenue. And so if we had some shops there that would cause people that are coming in, and now me being right there in town all the time, there's a lot that goes on in that town that some of y'all might not ever see day and night. And it's being utilized. People are coming to our town. They love the small town atmosphere that they feel just walking around the green or on that park. It's being used. And so I'm just saying, if we had some shops, like if you went up to North Georgia to one of those places that people like to go spend their money, they got little shops and they're interesting. I like the fudge, a fudge shop. And other people like other things. If we had them, we could have going on in this town a lot more. Now, I'm for us growing. I'm not for us growing with a bunch of people that we're going to have to take care of and that they're not going to take care of the town. But I'm for growth. And I'd like to see my street with shops on it. Being able to walk from Main Street, walk down, go shopping, and it be a part, not separate from Main Street going on. Now, Friday night, there was no parking place from the parking in Main to Bobby Boss. It was totally packed, wasn't it, son? And this town, people love that. What I would like to see, and that goes with the development or something, maybe Christie, is a couple of times a month during the summer that we get a gospel group to come one night, maybe on a Saturday night, not close to the other concerts, but sometime in the month of a couple of those months that we have a gospel group, because we got people in this town and all around that would love to have that, and it's never been brought up. So I know I've taken 4 minutes and plus, so y'all just excuse me. I might not ever get to be to another meeting. And y'all have made me laugh tonight, even though I can't hear everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce.
Melanie Long, 219 Covington Street. The only thing I was going to do is I am on the board of directors for the Historical Society, and I just want to say that we are here for any support y'all need. Just reach out.
Yeah, I think we have to do something of that way. There's a lot of boards that are involved in these different things too. The GDA has a ton of training available, so I'm taking the Main Street training too, even though we don't have a Main Street board, because they reference it so much. I'm just that person who takes all the training available, and there's like 30 classes.
Yeah, do you sleep ever?
No, I do not.
I didn't think so.
So I've started taking that. So there's a lot of information out there and a lot of different ways that we can make it profitable and make money, and we can rely on other cities, and definitely the people at GADA, or not GADA, that's Georgia Automobile, GDA, are really responsive, like get back to me so fast. So we just need to figure out what we have to offer as the 7 of us and focus on those things. And it might not be commercial property, and it might not be, different things, but there are ways we can make the city better. And to your point, Ms. Joyce, I think the cottages and the shops are both great ideas. We just have to figure out what's right for Loganville. And I think the difference, we obviously have a lot of animosity going on in Loganville right now for a bunch of different things, but the only way we're going to be able to move forward is to assume that everyone has the best interest of Loganville at heart. So that's how I'm going to handle it from now on. I'm going to assume everyone's decision is because they want what's best for Loganville, and we're going to hear them out. So I know everyone's saying they are against cottages, and if that is true, then we will do our best, what we can do to stop that from happening. But if it comes down the line that cottages are what's right for Loganville and there are people, we have to be open to changing our mind, and I am open to changing my mind, right? My little psycho Joanne?
Don't be calling me out.
So There's a reason. Brandon is very well trained in downtown development and city development and this and that. And what Brandon has been telling me, my time on the DDA was repeated over and over and over in the training I took. So I'm not saying it's right for us, but we do have to hear out some of those ideas. But the training also exposed there are some weird things that I don't know why we did them, because we are so well trained. Why did we build a park with no trees? Because they're very clearly in the DDA 101 says, do not put any unshaded area in downtown or you're going to kill it. So there are things we need to work out, but I think everyone on both sides of whatever are all working in the best interest of Loganville, and we need to remember that about each other as we go forward. So shops or cottages or a park. Whatever Loganville wants, Loganville gets.
The problem is Loganville doesn't
That
know
was
what it
public
wants.
comment, wasn't it?
Nobody can agree on anything.
Oh, we need, oh, is there more public comment? Sorry. Michael said I need to shut up. Okay. I think I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
I don't need a second for
Oh.
that.
Dang it.
I'll third it.